Elena and Marcus are packing up a specialty music store they have operated for 15 years. They are selling the business and moving interstate. As the final settlement date approaches, a serious point of friction emerges, identifying exactly which physical assets stay with the premises for the new owner and which leave on the moving truck with Elena and Marcus. In property law, there is no middle ground. Every physical item in this store must be categorized into one of two strict legal definitions: a fixture, which becomes part of the land itself, or a chattel. A chattel is an independent piece of personal property that the seller retains the right to remove. Four specific items are disputed: a guitar display, a repair bench, a shopfront sign, and display cabinets. Because the law relies exclusively on objective, physical evidence rather than private intentions, we use the IRAC legal framework to determine, are these items fixtures or chattels? To protect their physical assets, business owners must translate everyday objects into defensible legal categories using a rigid, objective framework. That brings us to the rule phase. To determine an object's status, the law requires us to apply two specific tests: the degree of annexation and the object of annexation. The degree of annexation examines the physical burden of proof regarding how an item is attached to the land. If an object rests entirely on its own weight, the initial presumption is that it is a chattel. If it is attached by any means other than its own weight, the presumption shifts to it being a fixture. The object of annexation test looks at the objective purpose of the attachment. Was the item attached to maximize the enjoyment of the item itself, or was it attached to permanently improve the premises? These two tests interact directly. The degree of attachment creates an initial legal presumption, but the object or purpose of that attachment can confirm or override that initial presumption. The law views physical attachment as a trigger for investigation. The objective structural purpose is the ultimate decider of an object's legal fate. Now we enter the application phase, starting with the wall-mounted guitar display system. Testing the degree of annexation, we observe the metal rack is secured with heavy screws drilled into structural timber studs. Removing it would leave holes requiring repair and repainting. This establishes a strong presumption that the rack is a fixture. The object of annexation test confirms this. The substantial integration into the structural wall indicates an objective intent to permanently improve the retail space, rather than just acting as a temporary stand for guitars. Next, we pivot this analysis to the custom repair bench located in the workshop. For the degree of annexation, this large workbench is bolted directly into the concrete floor for stability and is connected to an air compressor line installed beneath the flooring. This high level of physical integration establishes another clear fixture presumption. Applying the object of annexation, we see this bench was designed specifically for this exact workshop space. This bespoke spatial design proves it was installed as a permanent premises improvement, not a temporary tool. High physical integration, when combined with specialized spatial design, overwhelmingly transforms personal property into real estate. The third item is the illuminated shopfront sign bearing the store's trading name. Testing its degree of annexation, the sign is fastened to the exterior wall with metal brackets and hardwired directly into the building's internal electrical system. Its removal requires professional electrical work and would leave visible structural marks, heavily presuming it to be a fixture. The object of annexation test shows that its objective purpose is the permanent commercial identification of the premises itself. This highly integrated sign contrasts sharply with the final items, the freestanding display cabinets. Analyzing their degree of annexation, these cabinets rest entirely on their own weight. Because they have zero attachment points and can be moved easily without causing property damage, the law presumes they are chattels. The object of annexation test supports this presumption. Their objective purpose is the temporary display of retail stock, with zero functional integration into the building's architecture. Gravity alone is rarely sufficient to claim a property right. Without structural or purposeful integration, an object remains legally independent. This creates an apparent physical paradox. Physically massive glass cabinets are legally mobile, while a relatively light exterior sign is legally immobile. Pure physical mass does not equate to legal annexation or permanent intent. The law prioritizes the nature of the physical connection and its underlying purpose over the raw physical weight of the object. In property law, a strategically placed screw or an electrical wire carries significantly more legal weight than a ton of freestanding glass. We reach the final step of the analytical engine, the conclusion phase. Based on our application of the legal rules, the guitar display, the custom bench, and the illuminated sign are all classified definitively as legal fixtures. The real-world consequence for Elena and Marcus is that they must leave these 3 fixtures behind. They now legally belong to the buyer of the premises. The freestanding display cabinets, however, are classified definitively as legal chattels. As a consequence, Elena and Marcus retain full ownership over the cabinets and possess the legal right to pack them in the moving truck. The IRAC methodology acted as the necessary algorithm to strip away ambiguity and protect property rights. The true boundaries of property are not defined by walls or floor space, but by the rigorous, objective application of legal methodology to physical facts.